It's a sad day when this video actually had to be made because I didn't think it was going to happen for a while. But sometimes life decides to be a bitch and throws you a curveball, and this is one of them. Because unless you've been living under a rock, you would know that Zayn has left One Direction, which, to be honest, I was completely fine with. Like, okay, I could see it coming the minute he got engaged, and I was like, he's gonna leave soon, blah, 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 blah. You could tell that he wasn't really into it. But what has now got me frustrated is that people just can't let it go. And I am not saying it in a way to hate One Directioners. I like One Direction myself. I'm just saying, I guess where it's just coming from is it's become a bit of a hoo-ha on the internet because some fans are cutting themselves over this. And please do not harm yourself over Zayn leaving One Direction. It is not worth it. You are so much more important than that. And if you're saying you're doing it to support, that you're like upset and you're just wanting them to get back together, suppose it worked. Suppose Zayn thought, okay, fine. To stop them from cutting, I'm going to go back to One Direction. But you'll know that he doesn't want to be there, that his heart's not in it, that he's not going to be enjoying himself at all. And the music's not going to be any good because he's just there because he feels like he has to keep you guys safe. And not only is it, well, in a way, blackmail, but people who self-harm because they're upset or they're suicidal or, PTSD or whatever's caused them to decide to self-harm, one of the big struggles that they have is they feel like they're doing it to get attention. They get called attention seekers. And that's not the case at all. But when people are doing self-harm over reasons like Zayn leaving One Direction, that's why people think that it is an attention-seeking game, because people are thinking that they're going to cut themselves over somebody who won't mean anything to them in 10 years' time. 10 years down the track, when you're married and you've got kids of your own, how are you going to explain to your kids that you have scars all over your body because somebody that you don't even care about now left a band? You're going to feel silly, and I'm not trying to attack you, and I'm not hating Directioners. I am a Directioner. Well, I consider myself one. I love their music too. I'm just saying you're more important, and your health and your safety is so much more valuable than Zayn being in a band. And, 10 years down the track, this won't mean anything to you. Like, hell, next year you'll be like, oh my goodness, I cut myself over Zayn. And it won't mean anything. And why would you cause a permanent damage to a temporary situation? It's not worth it. And you are so much more important than that. And please do not cut yourself over this situation, because this will blow over, and self-harm and suicide and depression is one of those things that when you get away from it, you take a step back, you kind of see that you're not overreacting, but you've just lost control of the situation. And you don't know how to think rationally, and therefore you don't respond rationally. And then that's why you've got people who are killing themselves, and that adrenaline rush in the last few seconds of their life, they're like, crap, I still want to live. And that's how they exited the world, with regret. And I don't want anybody to leave this world with regrets. You need to live the fullest life that you can, the healthiest you can, and the happiest you can. And if you're doing this to support Zayn, if you feel like you're cutting yourself to support Zayn, know that the reason that they mean so much to you is because they made you feel valuable, they made you feel special, they made you feel loved, they made you see the worth in yourself. And how are they going to feel if they knew that you were cutting yourself now that one of them's gone? It just undoes all the work that they've done, and you're so much more than that. You're so much more than one member leaving a band, and the four still continuing. One Direction is not over. They've just changed slightly, kind of a big way, but it'll be okay. And you are so much more than cutting yourself over this. No one deserves to cut themselves. No one You're far, far, far too valuable for that, and I cannot stress that enough. And the other point of this is that there are people who are hating on directioners and giving them so much shit for this, and that just pisses me off. Okay, if your favourite sports team, okay, say that the All Blacks decided that they weren't going to do rugby anymore. Just go with it, right? Let's just say that they weren't going to do rugby anymore. All the other countries and, like, you know, I don't even know what the other teams are called, all the other rugby teams would be like, oh, okay, I'm sorry, that sucks. Like, that sports team meant a lot to you, and you put a lot of time, a lot of money going to their games. It's hard and that sucks, and it's a huge part of your culture, because here in New Zealand, rugby is everything, and people are understanding of that. But then when, like, a band member leaves the band, all the other fandoms seem to take this as a chance to attack you and say, aren't you're going to end da-da-da-da-da, and this is why my band's still better than you because we're still going. And that is not cool. I'm sorry, but go fuck yourself. Okay, I saw this post and it was, I don't know what fandom it's from, to be honest. Like Mitch, like, I don't even know. Somebody died and he had a 4-year-old son, which is really unfortunate, and I'm really sorry if that was your fandom, because that's a terrible way, the worst way for a band to end is for a member to die, and I'm really sorry if that was your fandom, truly, I am. But then that fandom started attacking Directioners the minute Zayn left, saying that Directioners told his 4-year-old daughter to kill himself, and that we deserved all the sadness and shit that we were having from Zayn leaving. I never even heard of that. And I have friends who are One Direction crazy, and if there's news going on in One Direction world, I will hear from them in great detail. I don't ever recall there being a shenanigan over us calling a 4-year-old girl, this poor girl, 4 years old, who's just lost her dad, to kill herself. And if that was, and yes, okay, suppose there was a Directioner that did that. Being a One Direction person, I've lost myself here. Being a One Direction fan does not define that person and the entire fandom into one category, okay? I am a Christian, but do I hate all Germans because of what they did to the Jewish and the Christian in the Holocaust? No, because I cannot blame an entire country for Hitler's stupid decisions. The same way you can't judge the entire direction of fandom because maybe one was foolish and cruel and decided to say something hurtful, and you sending hate back is just as bad. Okay, the only people that in that fandom, when that poor guy passed on and his poor daughter was dealing with that, they are the only ones who have the right to be upset. Not Directioners, no offence. But you shouldn't be sending them hate. That there's never an excuse to send somebody hate. I don't care if they started it. There is never an excuse. You're then becoming just as bad as them. And suppose Directioners did. Okay, let's suppose in some cray universe where Justin Bieber's running the world and we're all in a whole lot of shit. Suppose that you could define the entire fandom by one person's actions, and you're angry at all of Directioners because one fan told this poor girl to kill herself. And now you are saying that we deserve to be sad, and deserve to be going through hell, and deserve to die because this is exactly what we did to you. You have become just as bad as we have, and you have lost your right to be angry. Therefore what you're doing isn't revenge or karma, it's just you being a bastard. So just keep your... I just want a world where there is peace and love and just not hatred and bullying and people harming themselves, and it's just... I get very passionate about this, and I'm sorry for my swearing, and I'm sorry this is all over the place, but oh my goodness. So please, Directioners and non-Directioners and just people in general who are watching this video, don't harm yourself over this, okay? You are more than Zayn leaving. One Direction. Sure, he's got a great voice. Sure, One Direction's going to be different without him. But it's not a reason to hurt yourself. Or a reason to send hate to Directioners or to any other fandom, okay? There's just never... It's not okay. And if Zayn was your role model, how do you feel knowing that you're cutting yourself over something foolish? Or getting in fights with other fandoms is just... It's petty. It really is. And please just stop it. And One Direction will be fine. They'll sound different, yes, but they're going to continue. They're still winning awards and they're still going to be fine. And this will all blow over and you'll see that you are worth more than this mess. And please just take care of yourself because you are so important. And be kind to everyone. Doesn't matter what fandom they're from. And be kind to yourself. And I hope you have a good day.